Yo, I put it like wow, this that sound. These oaks don't work hard like me, I hope they know by now. Bayo Bab, stand my ground. Bro, these money trees go overseas like Percy Tau. I make sure you stay around, quiet when I'm under loud. No negatives allowed, me and positivity took a vow. I always play to win, don't anticipate loss. Mind always in the clown, my boy. Never think about the drop, never ever ever think about the drop.
Welcome to it, sports fans. It is the MKT Show on a Monday. I'm not alone in here. Although in real life I might be alone. You know, this might be a cover-up saying I'm not alone, but actually I am alone. Anybody who's not alone doesn't have to tell you that they're not alone. So here we go. I'm having an existential crisis. I mean, I was having a good morning. It's a crisis. Shout out to everyone in South Africa who knows what that means. I'm having a crisis. A man from the Republic of South Africa, a man who gets people in shape mentally, physically, himself, by the way, also in great shape. Handsome guy, great guy, is with me. Brad Phillips, what's happening?
Hey boy, what's going on?
It's good. Listen, it's a good time to be alive, but I just realized, I don't know if you saw me have a breakdown there about being lonely, alone.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to give yourself a hug.
It's tough.
It's COVID times and you're 1.5 meters away from me. I'll help a brother out.
What's news, bro?
Oh, fruit, just busy, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, just busy.
Yeah, your day starts early as well.
Yeah.
Every day you are... What time do you get to work? Like
I get to work at 5.
You're at 5. What time's your first client?
Usually 5:15.
5:15, my gosh. And then, I mean, people who don't know this, you are just cooking from 5 till 6?
I finish around 7, 7:30.
7, 7:30, eh?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. But cooking, yeah, there's being an entrepreneur and doing your own thing, and you know, you got to take care of from A to Z, right?
Well, this is it, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise you're screwed.
Yeah, no,
It's not cool when there's a ceiling.
Yeah, I got
just
you.
Trying to create spaces where there aren't any.
Dude, a man you're in business with did something epic. We'll try and get him on the show, if not later this week, definitely next week. Let's just start there. Devin Miller, 100k.
What a champ.
Listen, I've done Skyrun, so that's not a joke of a race. Like, there's some stuff which, you know, and there's different types of races, and I mean, listen, it's marketed as arguably the hardest race in South Africa. I think difficult comes in different, you know, but it's wild. It's definitely, in terms of the 100Ks, it's the wildest, most adventure race. So I know the guys who ran it, and they come from an adventure racing background. So it's not these yuppie kind of, these new 100Ks where it's basically the American style where every 15 kilometers there's a water table, and this ain't that. And for him to go and run what he did, 17:53, I think
that is the time, yeah.
17 hours 53. It's just out of this world, with a hair fracture in his leg.
Yeah, hairline fracture in his shin, left shin. He had shin splint on the right just before that.
Yeah.
He ended up compensating, pushed it to the left, just overdid it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he hadn't managed to run for the last nearly 2 months.
Yeah.
Because of it. Focused on different means of trying to get his cardiovascular effect up, but his whole ability to run that race is just purely down to his grit quotient in that head of his.
Yeah.
Ability to fight.
Those guys are soldiers. He comes from a rowing background. They're different. You become a different animal to have gone through that process to get to the level in rowing that he did. Like, I urge anybody who wants to get tough. I mean, Marines, if you can get near one, but if you want to get mentally tough by sort of societal middle class standards, and you want to just keep learning how to refresh, get around those guys.
Yeah, definitely. They're all a little cooked. When we had John Smith came past last week. I think he was in 2 or 3 Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've got challenges going on this month until December, right?
That's at Gold's Gym in
Gold's
Morningside, by the
Yep.
way. Gold's Gym Santon. You can look that up if
Yeah.
you want to come join some legends.
Some legends, indeed. So we had challenges going on. The first set of challenges was the rowing challenges.
Yeah.
Crazy, he obviously blew it out the water.
Yeah.
There was another cardio challenge last week. Also pumped it beyond measure. I think he finished second.
Yeah.
They're just different, man. Guys, they're so comfortable to go until they nearly black out.
James, I'm sure that reminds you of yourself, really, being willing to go to the edge. It's almost like you're an Olympic rower. You know what I'm saying?
I know, nowhere near being an Olympic rower.
Not. So you're suggesting you might complain here and there?
I mean, doesn't everyone know that about me though?
Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't mean to put you down. I thought maybe you're as tough as Olympic rowers. Sounds like you're not.
I cry myself to sleep.
How's it going with what did you say, your own vibes in terms of the exercise thing? Obviously, you're on your route to a half marathon. I haven't spoken to you in any personal capacity. I thought I might ask you today. How's it going? Are you training like an animal, harder than you were with Brad?
It's actually going well.
Take me into it. What does that mean?
I'm not up at 4 a.m. anymore.
Yeah?
Because I personally believe it's actually just a ridiculous time to be awake.
Sure.
So I'm now up between 5:15 and 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do my thing.
Which is what? No. Do my things.
I was about to go into what it was. So some mornings it's a run. Other mornings it's just a bunch of exercises and stretching things that Brad and I went through at the gym.
How far are you running?
Really good, actually. Hey?
How far are you running? Where are you running? Where are you running from?
So at the moment it's just inside my complex.
Mm-hmm.
But I went this weekend to have a look. Yesterday afternoon I went to have a look at some places that I could run in the area because I wanted like a change of scenery while I run.
Got you.
That's important, apparently.
I don't know.
I didn't know that either. So yeah, I went to go have a look around sort of Four Ways area-ish.
Okay.
Where I could go, and I found a couple of nice places like parks and stuff.
So what are we thinking? I mean, so you haven't measured it. I mean, you can measure just because you're inside your complex. Doesn't mean you can't get on Strava. Yeah, I'm saying, my man.
No, it's not. Wait, hang on. It's not I'm not having a problem measuring how far I'm running.
Oh, so how far are you running?
It's just like I just wanted a change of scenery.
No, okay. How far are you running?
I'm not super focused on distance at the moment. I'm more focused on time.
Okay.
And trying to work through some of the sort of exercises that Brad taught me with like the not sprint intervals, but yes, sprint intervals, if that makes sense. So different paces, and then you have you slow down, and then that thing.
Sounds very vague, this guy.
I'm gonna go that way. Yeah, that's just kind of the stuff I've been trying to keep up with. I'm still struggling with my lower calves, Brad. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds all right.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm actually like really enjoying it. Like I feel good when I'm finished, and yeah.
So how many times are we exercising a week now? Got to get to the bottom of this, you know?
So at the moment, set in stone, it's still the same 3 days, but I said to myself this week that I wanted to try and at least do 4 days.
Oh, that's going to be tough.
So
4 days, exercising 4 days in a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that feedback.
You're looking forward.
4 ways. 4 ways feedback. Forward.
No,
4. No, the number 4 works. I'm looking forward. Yes, I know I got that.
This was fun. We should do it again.
Yeah, we should. All right, that's James. All right, Jimbo, listen, we are a sports show. In a little bit, I'll tell you where I was right, where I was wrong. And of course, Man United fans all over the world, either heartbroken, because they don't know what to do. Is Ollie still a legend or not? They don't know how to settle that. I'll tell you why I think shouldn't have fired him now. If you were going to fire him, I'll tell you my thoughts on that. It's a whole situation. Watford, that's tough. Listen, I said on Friday it's a big game. It's a big game, and I'd be disappointed for Watford if they didn't win. People thought I was joking, and we'll talk a little bit of F1. The boys, last night F1 night race, incredible. Qatar, all the money in the world. The MKT Show, all of that and plenty more coming up on the other side. Back on carbs. I had a sandwich for breakfast for the first time in about 3 years.
And how'd you feel?
I'm not sure. I mean, breakfast was just now, you know? It was, I'll see. But I did send you a message before I flew off. I think, was it on Saturday or Friday? But
Yes.
I was in Cape Town this weekend. And for the first time in a while, I'm feeling human again. Because I've been, I don't know what was going on with me. I was struggling.
Yeah, shame, bro.
I thought I was pregnant.
Maybe.
And I was retaining water in my feet. And I thought, oh no.
What did you do about that?
Oh, I just stopped being pregnant.
Did you clothes hanger?
No, I just stopped. Being pregnant, it's a state of mind.
Sure.
If ladies just decided 3 months into it, I don't want to be pregnant anymore, you can still have the baby inside, but you won't have any other symptoms. As you can tell, I'm a doctor.
Sure, fair.
Yeah, it's a decision. Pregnant, not pregnant. It's like a light switch, on, off, you know?
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah, must be tough being pregnant, eh?
Oof, 9 months. 9 months of this thing sapping every little piece of energy that
Yeah.
you've got. Making you chunky.
Yeah,
Screwing with your mood a little bit. Oof, must be hard.
that is tough. I already don't trust babies, but now you've just pointed out they're just like,
Parasite.
that's what they are. That's what babies are. And I don't trust babies. I said it this morning on Gareth Cliff's show. I don't trust babies. I know what babies, because for those people who don't know, babies' eyes never grow. So you're born with your eyes the size they'll be your whole life. So in their tiny little heads, they have these massive eyes. And everyone gets tranced. Oh, so cute. Babies know what's going on. I don't trust babies. And they're freeloaders.
They're so completely self-centered.
So those are babies. Brad, what did you get up to this weekend? You obviously... You train some of the craziest people in this country in terms of... And you're in the same environment with some of the craziest people. Gym this weekend, cooking.
Yeah, well, the 94.7 was yesterday, so
yes.
it wasn't as busy as what it should
Well,
have been.
ride Joburg. Because I do have to say, at this stage, I do work with the guys who own 94.7.
Oh, so it's called...
And they are intent. It's the 94.7 Ride Joburg. They're very intent on that. And the big dog does watch this show. So
Okay.
he said I must always correct people.
Ride
94.7 Ride Joburg.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
people
it's-
need to know that.
It's all about branding. It's all
Yeah,
about branding.
But I didn't know that, and that's part of their brand.
Every day's a school day, you know? Yeah, so...
Remember that.
All right, so 94.7, did that affect attendance?
Yeah, also the weather wasn't the best, but I mean, Saturday was cooking.
Yeah.
Gym had such a good vibe around it. And again, these little challenges also, it gives people an excuse to pitch up.
Yeah.
Every week's a new challenge, new goal to hit. So, I mean, that, other than yesterday, great weekend.
We'll get to yesterday. But now, tell me this. The challenge we have now is the rowing one, eh? Or what's-
No. So right now, it's almost like CrossFit style.
Uh-huh.
So the strength element is an overhead press, which I do think people are going to get hurt with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess I have to make sure I keep a few slots open for that. And then the functional or fitness element it's a short 2 to 3 minute like CrossFit style workout.
Yeah.
4 different elements that you have to bash out in as quick of a time as you can.
James, are you going to do that challenge, like a CrossFit vibe where you got to push yourself to the death? Because obviously, with your new training regime on your own vibe, you're probably ready, I'd say.
So I think this is a good time to bring this up.
What, the fact that you're in?
No.
Oh,
So,
yes.
I
This is breaking news.
yes.
I don't know if I like this.
Breaking news. Go ahead.
No, you're supposed to go eyewitness news.
No, what are you talking about? That's already someone else's. That's on already. Eyewitness news already exists. Why would I steal that? It's crazy.
The concept of a football show exists already. Why would you steal that?
No, but what do I say? Welcome to Sky. Well, okay, well, let's do it. Since your thing makes sense to you, right? Give me the camera. Let me introduce the show. Hello, this is Sky News, and on Sky News we do football news about clubs like Manchester United. I don't say that, James, because this isn't Sky News. So eyewitness news that already exists. What would that look like if I said eyewitness news? People are like, hey, that's not Bruce Whitfield. That's what people would say. They go, oh, no, wait, 702. No, that guy's a thief.
I do have a lot of fun sitting back here and winding you up. It is a good. When Sensor's not here, I have to wind you up.
Sure. Eyewitness news.
So,
all right.
Anyway, so breaking news, and I have told Brad about this.
Let's hear it.
It's nerve-wracking, this.
So I have decided.
There you go.
When did you decide? Hold on. No, details are important. You can't just decide. When did you decide? How long did it take you to decide?
My last week of training with. No, I was still in the middle of my last week of training with Brad, actually.
So about a month ago, okay? Mm-hmm. Give or take, 3 weeks, a month ago.
No, was it that long ago that I worked out with Brad? It wasn't. It's been like 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Drop the bomb, James.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I've decided, and I've had conversations with Brad.
Yes.
As well as other people. The half marathon in January.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not doing it.
But
No. I knew it though.
No,
I knew it. No. I knew it.
No, but there's a reason behind
No. I already knew you wouldn't.
No, but
I'm not shocked. Did you think I'd be shocked?
no.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not shocked.
but there's a reason behind it.
Okay. A reason or excuse? You must be careful. They're not the same thing.
No, there's genuinely a reason.
Cool. Let's hear it.
So I have put a lot of thought into it. As I have done with many things over the last month and a bit.
Questionable.
Okay. And
oh, by the way, I must tell you, Gareth Cliff said on the show, this is Gareth Cliff over here for people who don't know him. Divisive figure, but brilliant man. He said, I bully you on the show. He gets a lot of messages about me bullying you on the show, just so you know. And then I said, well, if James wants to hang around, winning's a brutal business. I don't want any losers around me and no fatties in the squad. So, if people think I'm bullying you, don't expect it to stop now, basically is what I'm saying. Right, go ahead.
okay. So the reason behind it is because so running and long distance running is not really a life goal or a bucket list thing for me. Like, this whole workout journey for me has been about getting into shape and living my best life, right? And being able to live my best life when I'm in the shape I aim to be in. Okay. And I do understand that it is about setting future can you call them targets so that you can ensure that you remain on track, if that makes sense? But at the moment I am genuinely just trying to find out like what I want to do in the sort of exercise space.
How are you going to know what you want to do? Who's going to hold you accountable? What happens when you get uncomfortable? Like, in your life, when you get uncomfortable, generally, how does it go for you? Like, that you've observed. How do you think it's going to go when you get a little bit uncomfortable with something?
Can you give me an example?
So let's just say, like you said earlier, I want to train 4 times a week, right? Let's say you only train twice a week because it's a little bit cold in the morning, or overslept. Like, is anybody going to say anything to you, or is it just you? Like, oh man, that's tough, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
No, nobody. I mean, people might ask me about it. Like, certain people in my life might ask me about it. But also, one of the main reasons for me doing this whole health thing by myself now,
Yes,
is doing it for myself. So if I miss a session, then that's on me, and I'm just disappointing myself.
yeah,
It's not a whole, hey James, let's do feedback. Oh, you missed a session, you suck. Not that that's how it went. I'm just saying. And I think like a lot of it's going to be through trial and error. I want to try. I actually really enjoyed the watt bike thing. So I want to try and get involved a little bit more on that side, maybe. I used to swim quite a bit, so that was fun. So maybe get back into.
So what are we thinking here? I mean, how do you measure that you're getting better? You like, what's the plan? Because it doesn't sound like you have a plan, really. It's more vibes at the moment.
So I do have. It's always vibes. What do you mean?
Yeah. Because I'll tell you what my greatest fear for people is, right? And it's good that you have these intentions, but I got to have a heart-to-heart with you, James. Exercise is hard. And I'm an animal, and it's hard for me. I'm telling you, I'm an animal. I'm happy to say this. Anyone can come at me. I'm an animal, and it's hard for me. It's hard. And I'm very disciplined. What happens when you don't feel like it, is what I'm saying. And you haven't been able to answer that. Because that's the problem, right? Is that, like, and by the way, all good. You're going to do what you're going to do. I'm just saying, you know what happens is, if you do get in a cycle of, let's say you do 6 weeks, right? And you might say, my goals are, I want to exercise 4 times a week. And then every week you do two days here, 3 days here. You know what I mean? Like, you don't kind of hit your numbers. It's really, really tough when you set targets. Because 4 days a week, I want to tell you, is extremely ambitious. But okay, it's not my place since you're doing your own thing now. But I might as well give you principled feedback from my own journey. Is that the problem with when you set goals, right, and you don't achieve them, you actually knock yourself back because you don't have anybody managing you in terms of, and I would presume, and you can correct me here, you don't really know how to set exercise goals yet, right? Because you've never done it before, unless I'm wrong. Have you set exercise goals before?
What, before this whole?
Yeah.
No, because I've never had to worry about
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
See, getting into proper routines, the part of it is managing your human side, because everybody, not just you, everybody seeks comfort. And what happens when the enthusiasm, because when Brad was there and I was on your case, it doesn't matter how enthusiastic you are, you better pitch up. Now, what happens in 3 weeks' time when the enthusiasm kind of runs out? Because it becomes hard work, actually. It stops being about vibes and I want to get in shape for the rest of my life. Now you got to say, missing one session, no good. How does that affect your self-confidence? I don't know how that's going to go for you. Surely, are you thinking maybe of putting some things in place to manage yourself? Because we all need to manage ourselves. The principles are not about managing the world. It's about managing yourself. What are you putting in place for that? Because I don't want you losing confidence. The biggest thing with discipline is confidence. You have to instill confidence within yourself so that you know you can rely on yourself. And I'm a little bit scared for you that the vibes thing I'm hearing, James, I just know how it goes here. You're going to have to tell some people to hold you accountable. And it doesn't have to be me, but I would, just for your, I know I sound crazy to you, all right? For your own sake, get 2 or 3 people to hold you accountable. Otherwise, I'm telling you, James, I'm telling you, guaranteed, and we have an exercise expert here who sees every kind of person, from elite athlete to a man on the street like you and me. I'm telling you, in 3 to 4 weeks' time, it's going to knock your confidence when it's a little bit cold at 5 a.m. You have a bad day at work and you go home, I don't feel like it. Because that's where we all go, as comfort. For your own sake, think of some people that can hold you accountable, who you will listen to in your personal life, right? Because you have to do it your own way, is what you're saying. I would start there before I even start saying I want to exercise 4 times a week. And it has to be people you'll listen to, James. I don't mean your best mate who's just like, yo, bro, at least you tried. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you some advice from somebody who's walked a journey for 9 years back to exercise, you know, and health.
So Before I explain to you what measures I have put in place,
Yes.
I just want to bring this comment up on the screen.
Let's hear it.
Okay, this is my younger brother.
Okay.
I just...
Jordan Rickson. Shout out Jordan. Now, Jordan, I do understand that you are in a bit of a situation. I'm not sure if we can talk about it, James. There were flowers purchased by your mom on the way home for a very specific reason, and we don't know how that went. So, Jordan, if you can DM me on social media, I would like to find out directly from you how that whole situation played out. I won't say too much, but boy, oh boy, if that didn't go well, Jordan, we need to have a chat. Jordan Rickson says, why run a half marathon? Just run the full one. Come on, James. Now, okay. Yeah, but okay. James, your thoughts on your little brother saying something like that? Yeah, that's tough because he's well younger than you. And he's like, yeah, just get into it. Don't be soft. It's kind of what he's saying. But okay, James, you're going to do it your own way?
I am, and I've spoken to my mom about it, whose opinions and thoughts I definitely take in very high regard, and she's aware of where I am at the moment, and that's also the thing. I believe if...
Well, what did she say? I want to know what your mom said.
Oh, what did she say about...
Yeah, what did you say to her? I'm going to do it my own way.
Well, no, I just told her that I wanted to do this for myself and for like the same stuff I said to you guys just now. Like, I want it to be like James. I don't want to have to...
Robin Badger in the comments has said a brilliant reply, which you should have given, James, was who holds you accountable? Only God will know. And that's pretty tough. I mean, God's email inbox and phone line is constantly buzzing, by the way. About 3 billion people between South America and Africa super into God and emailing him through prayer every day. It's going to be tough for you to get to the top of the inbox every day. So, okay, your measures quickly, James, before I bring it back to Brad, that you've got in place for yourself to manage yourself. Obviously, God will manage you, but that may take a bit of time to get the feedback. What are we doing in the third dimension human world where we are just flesh and bullets can't kill us?
So dark. So I've spoken to my mom, and
Yes.
I believe that like if she's invested in it, that'll sort of it's a big factor for me to not to not have that mindset of it's 5 o'clock in the morning and it's a bit cold today, so I'm going to give it a skip.
Okay.
Right, because then I'm disappointing my mom, and that's not something I want to do. Because I'm a mommy's boy. So that's one of them. And
Weird way to say it, yeah. Very weird way to say it.
I have spoken to a couple of other people about it. And
Who's other people? Like, again, it's vibes. Let me tell you something. You have to put some structures in place. James, let me get serious with you for a second. Other people needs to be people that can come around, people who will phone you. Like, don't think I was phoning you at 4:15 just so I could seem cool like a gladiator. I understand fundamentally how discipline works. And if you're comfortable, you're not getting disciplined. I'm just telling you. Your mom being in the Eastern Cape, check that out. It's not going to work. Because you know why? Your mom loves you. She'll protect you. Brad.
Yeah, I was just about to say, no matter what you do, your mom's still going to be like, well, I don't care, it's my son.
You tried.
Yeah. A for effort.
Look, it's a tough journey, James. And... I'd like to think I've done my part. Like, I've done my part. James is now saying...
James has got the wheel.
He's saying, no, thank you. I've seen what you guys have to offer. It's not for me. Which is fair, because part of... I don't want James to be another me.
Yeah.
You know, some people get into... I'd like to think I'm not so into myself that I think I'm God. Like, the last thing I'd want... I think James, great kid, great dude. I don't want James to be another me. I just know that... discipline's so hard on your own.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like sometimes I think people see it so much on Instagram now, the lion pictures and stuff, and they just think, oh, no. It's enough to say I want to do something. Like, you know, I hear it a lot. And Brad, I'd love to hear your thoughts on, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
Well, you're focused and you've got goals. I think that's the big thing. Setting reachable goals needs to be the path, or needs to be the only way to somewhat do it. Otherwise, you're just collecting dirty washing,
Yeah.
waking up when you like, picking food off out of your teeth,
Yeah.
and just surviving day to day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is just a simple state of survival.
And Jimbo, so what's the big plan? What are you thinking? Like health for the rest of your life, or like what are you thinking? Just out of interest.
Full marks for vitality.
yeah, like a smoothie.
I did actually. I got a call from Discovery asking if I'd like to sign up for Vitality, and I have been meaning to, and I did last month.
Okay.
So I'm a Vitality person now.
But what does that mean now? Now
You
what?
get like points.
Discounts on food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can like get discounts on food at Woolies, which is dope.
Yeah.
Um,
But what's the goal? Tell me the big goal. Like it doesn't matter what you do. What's the big goal? Health, wellness, six pack, discipline. Like what's the big goal? Have you ever set goals before? Have you ever written goals down? Like, do you know that goal setting is a science? It can't just be I want to do it. Like, I hate to break this news to you. Wanting to do something is not enough. It's part of it. It's a start. But just because you want to do something, it's not enough. I don't know if do you understand that?
yeah, I mean,
Do you though? No. Like, I think you understand. Wanting to do something is not enough. I see it all the time, Jimbo. You have to, James, write it down. So can I quickly give you a lesson in goal setting?
sure.
Write it down first and foremost. It must be very clear. If the goal is to be able to do 100 push-ups, because it's small wins, James. You can't say, I want to be healthy for the rest of my life. Brew, that's too big. That's too big. You're going to have bad days. What happens when you have a bad day? A goal like that seems impossible. And let me tell you what happens. When it's too cold on the one morning, you let one bad day turn into 2 bad days, 3 bad days. Before you know it, you're in a 4-5 week bad rut. Not because you're a bad person or weak. You don't have it written down, so you have nowhere to work to. Whether it's 10 sit-ups, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it has to be uncomfortable. My only concern for you, James, is that I don't know if you want to get uncomfortable, and that should worry you, because if you want what you've never had, you must be willing to do that which you've never done. And if you're not uncomfortable, I'm telling you now, James, I'm telling you now for free. Take it from somebody who was a bum and a squalor in my 20s. If you don't have goals, what you say is completely useless to yourself. Forget about me, forget about Brad. Doesn't matter what we want for you. Write your goals down. Bring them to Brad. Bring them to somebody who understands what goal setting is, and start small. And I promise you, James, hear me now. I want to be healthy for the rest of my life is not a goal. That's not goal setting. So what's the goal is what I'm asking before we go to a break. Or do you want to think about it? By the way, you don't have to give an answer. You must always remember, maybe you haven't thought about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's lots of things I don't understand about goal setting that my elders teach me. Brad has taught me. Do you want to give it some thought, maybe?
No, I do have what the end goal is. I just haven't, like, I've formulated it in my head, but not, like, nobody else knows what it is, so I haven't formulated it out loud. I know what it is, but...
So you need to write it down. If you can't write it down, you don't know. I'm telling you for free. If you can't write it down, you don't know. Because it needs to be crystal clear. Like for you, this thing of, I get it all the time with people. People come to me, exercise, they want advice. I say, write it down. Do you want to do 5 push-ups? Because then I can work with that. If the goal is to do 5 push-ups, you understand what the goals are. To form habits, James, you have to, you know who everyone's biggest enemy is? Themselves. It's not what Brad's saying. Don't worry about what I'm saying. Because let me tell you something. You know why you shouldn't worry about what I'm saying. And it should just be about you. I'm going to be fine whether you do this or not. Your mom's going to be fine whether you do this or not. Ultimately, it's to manage you. That's what goal setting is for. We're going to be fine. You think I'm not going to be up at 4:15 every day anyway? You know what I'm saying, Brad?
Hear you.
And it's tough feedback. Right? It might be tough for James. It might be tough for you to hear this, and it's not because I don't want you to succeed. I think it's tough. You know what I mean, Brett? It's like maybe you can talk to us a little bit about goal setting. I mean, we're a sports show, but this is real life, and it's far more important actually than anything happening anywhere else.
Well, you start something because you want to achieve something.
Yeah.
Right? And that thing has to be a thing.
Yeah.
If it isn't a thing, again, you're just breathing, shitting,
Yeah.
drinking water, and eating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I say this to all of my clients, whatever it is that you want to achieve, because, I mean, I've got such a vast array of individuals that do come and see me, as young as 4 and as old as 84. But just tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Tell me where you want to go, and my objective is to slowly show you that you can get there.
Yeah.
Where you actually doing it yourself, and like MKT said earlier, or like you said earlier, you need someone to hold you somewhat accountable to the things that you're trying to achieve, not because you're looking for gratification from those individuals. It's just so someone can just check up on you.
Yeah.
It's just so you feel like someone else is caring.
Yeah.
And that is the case because, like you said, it is hard. And when you deal with difficult things, it is always easier to have someone hold your hand along the way.
So, yeah, Jimbo, it's tough, man. It's tough, but okay. So what are we thinking for the next month, James?
Probably just to run for longer distances at a time.
All right.
Well, the cool thing is you did say time is your measurable at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. What are you sitting at now, Jimbo?
It's between 20 and 24.
Okay.
And I only say between those two because there are some, I mean, like, so Brad, I've told you, like, most times when I've run on the treadmill, like, I've been able to feel like I can keep going. It's just, like, my legs and my lower calves are just finished. So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why there's, like, a sort of in between and not really an exact.
So let's call it 30 by a month with less pain. Let's call it that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll update your little plan. Send that to you.
Doable.
There we go. I'd say that's a good starting point. And I understand why James would come to you. You're a lot nicer than me. See, I didn't know any of this information because James knows how I'd respond to it. Smart on your part as well, James. See, that's a level up because you came to me. I'd be like, this guy's not serious. But you go to Brad. He's smarter, more grown up, much nicer person than I am, eh, Jimbo? Oh no, we can't hear you at all.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but that's smart. That's smart. You've Machiavelli'd that one. Smart because he comes to me. He knows because you knew how it would land if you came straight to me. It's tough, but that's smart. That's smart, and that's fair enough. All right, Jimbo, it's you're out there now. We've pushed the little bird out the nest, or you've jumped actually. I mean, I did want to hold your hand for a little bit longer, but you've jumped. So James, I wish you nothing but the best because it's awesome that you're taking it on. A lot of people are not conscious about this, and for me, I think you'll inspire a lot of people. Let's talk about something that happened on the weekend. Now, let's get to some sport.
Got tissues in the back.
James, how did it go for you watching what Watford were up to? Because you were texting and you were on fire with that.
Great.
Amazing,
Phenomenal. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Like, Watford missed 2 penalties, by the way. I mean, it's 1 penalty, but... and they're still 1-4-1.
It's taken them a good while to come to this moment. And now all the good content's going to be gone forever.
Ollie was at the wheel. I mean, he's taking his wheel with him, probably.
Yeah, we don't need it. We don't want that car. It's not a safe car. Can't put your family in that car.
So, Brad, what are we thinking here? I mean, United have gone and sacked him now. So, wait, Jimbo, give us the full statement. Brad, maybe it's probably good to start at what Manchester United, the club itself, has said about the sacking of one of their legendary players, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Jimbo, we got that. So, Manchester United, right, here is the full statement. Manchester United announces that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has left his role as manager. By the way, they did a weird video that Ollie was sitting down with Manchester United after having fired him. So very, very weird. Whether he quit or whatever, it was very weird. It was almost like, I don't know if you have any cousins where your uncle is employing him or her just because they're useless in the real world. It felt like that. It felt like Ollie was being housed at United because he's not good enough to be anywhere else. Very weird video. Have you seen it?
To the tuck shop? No.
So the official statement says, Ollie will always be a legend at Manchester United, and it is with regret that we have reached this difficult decision. While the past few weeks have been disappointing, they should not obscure all the work he has done over the past 3 years to rebuild the foundations for long-term success. Ollie leaves with our sincerest thanks for his tireless efforts as manager and our very best wishes for the future. His place in the club's history will always be secure, not just for his story as a player, but as a great man and a manager who gave us many great moments. He will forever be welcome back at Old Trafford as part of the Manchester United family. Now, before I read the last part, that is already, it feels like they're protecting Ollie, because they didn't do this with Mourinho or Van Gaal, who won trophies.
Yeah. It's odd. I guess it's just to try and maintain his stature at the club, because he did do some wonderful things as a footballer.
Yes.
That's all it could be.
That's very weird. All right, James, let's get that statement again, because the end part, if you're a Manchester United fan, should be electrifying reading and listening if you're listening on the podcast. The MKT Show available on every platform you use. The conclusion is this. Michael Carrick will now take charge of the team for the coming games with an S. That's really important to read. Michael Carrick will now take charge of the team for the forthcoming games while the club looks to appoint an interim manager to the end of the season. So this is weird now.
Yeah.
So Michael Carrick is an interim manager, so you can get an interim manager, so you can get a coach.
Well, you have to go through a few side checks before you pick one.
No, that's true. You do need to, hey? Yeah, this is Manchester United, guys.
The biggest club in the world, yeah.
Wait, interim manager to appoint an interim manager to appoint a manager. So you can have 4 managers this season.
I don't know if they just buckled at the fact that the results had been bad and then thought, okay, well, cool, we don't want to change things too much, but we'll boot our main guy. Put in his direct replacement.
Yeah.
To find someone else that could potentially hold the wheel for it another 5 months, 6 months. That makes no sense. Because what change are you going to create?
Are you going to make top 4 this year?
No.
So why not keep it? I would say it's more likely if you'd kept Ollie that you could make top 4 than whatever happens now.
Well, if they had said to Ollie, listen, we're giving you 3 more months and you are going, we're just trying to chase our golden unicorn. Do whatever the hell you can, but nothing changes. I mean, that might be a little better.
Yeah.
Than just saying, no, sorry, we're shitting ourselves because obviously you haven't pulled the result for a little while and we're scared of our fans, so we're going to boot you. That makes no sense.
What's the best case scenario now?
Well, now we just have to deal with whatever these Muppets think they need to do. I don't know. I've fallen way out of love. I had fallen way out of love with this club for a long time ago.
Why would Zinedine Zidane want to come to the Europa League?
It makes no sense.
There's no way Zidane's coming to a Europa League.
But I also don't think
team.
he would fit. I don't think he would fit this pampered lifestyle at a place like this.
Yeah.
There's no stars anymore other than Ronaldo and he's getting a little old. There aren't any stars, people that you would want to watch play. Like the guys he has coached. I mean, that Galacticos team. I mean, Ronaldo at his best. Friggin' Ramos at his best.
Yeah.
You had Bale in the mix even though they hated each other.
Yeah.
But they were filled with stars, people that could turn things on.
Modric.
Yeah, people that
Casemiro at his
won
apex.
things, that could turn things
Marcelo.
on. Yeah, those are players. Why would he come to worry about McTominay, Fred, Maguire, Lindelof, and so many more?
It's weird that they keep thinking Ollie's the problem. Like, why is nobody saying like Pogba's the problem, McTominay, Fred, Maguire, Lindelof? The only guy I'll never blame of this era is David De Gea.
Yeah, shame.
He's the one guy who I can say, since even Fergie left, he was the player of the year for 4 years in a row, or 3 years in a row.
He was the best goalkeeper in the world for those years. It's crazy.
Behind this nonsense.
Yeah.
In a Europa League team.
Imagine what his confidence is like, because he's still, every now and then, you see glimmers of him doing what he's always done, but he must just be a shattered human.
Jeepers creepers.
Shame.
Brad, it's a shame, huh?
Anywho.
So, Brad, I'm off this week. Yeah, I don't. What should I be doing? I should be tapering this week. What does that even mean? I mean, I've been.
You just need to make sure that you've got enough gas in the tank. So feed yourself, do some nice active stretches, a little bit of rolling, a little bit of strength work, but just feed yourself because you've got a monster coming. And the only way you're going to be able to deal with that is with that head of yours. Because you've done all the hard graft going into it.
So just what, pasta and some bread, you reckon, all week?
Well, chai pasta, just eat. Feed yourself.
Like what stuff? Oh, what about buckwheat? I saw some buckwheat the other day.
Buckwheat,
Because you recommended
bulgur wheat.
Bulgur wheat. What's better, buck or...
Bulgur wheat's got a slightly higher like protein quotient, carb quotient somewhat similar. Also all good stuff, nice stuff to have in a salad.
Do I have to cook it?
Yeah.
See, this is where I need an executive assistant / girlfriend.
Good luck.
Not good with the cook. Oh, yeah. Well, that's going to be tough to get in 4 days.
Well, not
Jimbo,
really.
you know anyone?
Ask Ryan, he's got about 15 on his sleeve.
Yeah, no, Ryan is in a situation. He is an electric guy, that guy. He is in, now there's another wedding possibly. He went on a date in the East.
Has anyone found him?
No, if he's okay.
He went to the East, huh?
Is he not in a body bag somewhere?
I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but anything's possible.
If it was in Bedford View, we should call him. I mean, people haven't seen Ryan for a while.
He didn't even show up to work this morning.
Yeah, see, that's going to happen. You go on a date in the East.
I haven't seen him the whole day.
Bedford View. Stuff happens there. I mean, R.I.P. Lolly Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
The last time he left, he sent you a video from Cape Town. Has he sent you a video yet?
I said I was thinking about you guys while I was on the beach with my Jordans on the beach, fully kitted in long Japanese style pants.
Well, the beach he would have gone to now is Nikki Beach.
Yeah,
It's very
oh.
different.
Yeah.
Clap it, Oaks.
No.
Wild Waters.
There's also that other, what's it called? The one in I know it's not in the East, but it's in Four Ways. It's
Hooters.
no, it's like a beach vibe also. In Four Ways.
I've heard about it. I don't know the name.
No, I don't know. I don't hang out in fours. I'm not
We don't go
21
that
anymore.
side. We don't go that side of the ring road.
No. I've got disposable income now. Why would I go to fours?
Sorry.
No.
Guys,
Oh, I'm sorry that you don't have disposable income. That you still have to hang out in fours.
It's
It's only because he had to pay you that $6,000 that he's.
It's tough. James. Tough times never last.
I'm eating beans and toast, dude. I don't even have money to buy Christmas presents for anyone.
Well, maybe show up at one gym session then. Maybe learn what Uber is. How many solutions do you want?
James, become a Jehovah's Witness, and then birthdays and Christmas doesn't exist.
That's smart. It's a good.
That's smart.
That
is. I've never thought of that. That is the move.
Yeah, it's kind of like your Uber situation. You hadn't thought of that either. So it's two things now I know you've never thought about. Huh? Who would have thought? All right, what comment we got there, Jimbo? Brad, awesome.
Happy.
We'll be in touch.
Thanks, bro.
And I hope your leg's better. But are you in for the half marathon?
Definitely in.
Okay, so it's you, me, Dean, and Paul.
I've run 4 times over the last week.
Amazing.
Feeling golden, like still sub 500 Ks, feeling happy.
Amazing. It's just about finishing that half marathon. Tracy Bard. So it's me. Who is it? It's me, Brad, Dean, and Paul.
Yeah.
4 of us in the mix. Love it. Tracy Bard says, that is the worst Dear John letter ever. We're breaking up, but let's be friends. Goodness me. That's Man United. That's what Tracy's talking about. That's exactly what it feels like. It feels like, okay, you know what? I hate people who, when it's time to break up, like, these are people that are up their own backsides. And I try and tell people this all the time. There's no good way to deliver bad news.
No.
Just deliver the bad news. Ollie,
Okay.
you're terrible. You're out.
Pull the band-aid off.
There you have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Brad, we had some breaking news a little bit earlier. James Ilsley wanted to steal Eyewitness News thing. I'm a big fan of Bruce Whitfield. There's no way I'm doing that. No chance. I'm not that guy. It's the MKT Show.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be.
There is a comment on screen, James says. By the way, James is a big time director now, and I shouldn't really tell you that part. I should be a professional. Good point. Manchester United went through some stuff, by the way, on the weekend.
Who's that?
There was a Scottish guy who did well for Man United, so you
Alex
might
Ferguson.
be Sir Alex. Have some respect.
Sorry, Sir Alex. Yeah, everyone knows Sir Alex.
Do you know Sir Alex?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, for those people who don't know,
Yeah.
how far does your Scottish lineage go back?
To the early 16th century.
Early 16th century, and who is the latest person who was in the mix that's Scottish, not like you?
Oh, Scottish. That would
great-grandfather.
be no. That would be my great grandfather.
So no, that's close. That's only a two
So, yeah, so I'm
generation.
third generation. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, you Scottish. That's Scottish.
Just wasn't claiming anything other.
So Fergie as well, also Scottish. Sir Alex, he did okay. Man United want him back now.
Oh really?
He had a heart attack.
Isn't he like 107?
And he had a heart attack recently. He had a brain tumor and a heart attack.
Wow.
And now
he's still a better option than the guy they've got now.
Oh no, he's gone now. They just sacked a guy called from Norway called Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They went through some stuff on the weekend. It was tragic. They lost to a club which paid me way too much money when I was younger as a junior, Watford.
Oh, not Moscow.
No, that was so Moscow was after. So it was Tottenham, Watford, then
Oh right.
CSK Moscow, and I drank a lot at all three clubs.
Right. So
Yeah.
you remember only little bits of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was good at drinking, not so good at the football.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, this Norwegian had as bad a weekend as the All Blacks coach.
No, the All Blacks coach still has his job.
Ah, true that.
Yeah,
true
so I think Ollie's is worse. Yeah, definitely. It's almost like marrying. I don't know who the love of your. Well, for your own safety, because happy wife, happy life. You're with the love of your life now. But let's just go to. There's a Spike 4 dimensions away because of the multiverse theory. Who might dream of? Let's just use a generic. I always use Scarlett Johansson because it's easy. She's famous. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
That Spike is married to Scarlett Johansson, and Scarlett Johansson one day comes home and says, "Spike, Jake Gyllenhaal's already here. Your stuff's packed at the door. Get out."
Yeah, you don't even get an option.
You know what I mean?
You don't get to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
just like, there, get out.
So that's what happened to Ollie. But they're trying to massage it now, like, oh, we didn't fire him. He chose to leave. Whereas,
So they're PRing it, basically.
big time. They lost 4-1 to Watford, that are the 4th worst club in England in the Premier League. 4-1 to Watford. Yeah, so there's that whole thing, and that is ugly. The All Blacks did have a bad one though. They lost to France badly as well.
Yeah. It's I think it's not so much that they lost; it's that they got 40 points put on them.
It's a record.
Oh man.
Yeah, and they lost to Ireland the week before.
Yeah. So the All Blacks coach is also having a bit of a tough time.
Now,
he hasn't quite got the letter yet, but
Now, is it racist to say the following? Because I've always wondered why, when I was younger, I got along with Irish people. Mm-hmm. And as I was speaking now about the football days, I used to love drinking. Mm-hmm. So do they. Uh-huh. Is that racist to say all Irish people love drinking?
I think if you begin any sentence with the words, is it racist to say, it probably is racist.
It is racist. Yeah. Is that Europeanist or no, Britishist? Because I'm only talking... No, that's what I just did there is terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Because they are not British.
No, they're not. They're Irish.
Well, the ones in the north. Though.
Yeah, but that's northern. The Northern Irish versus the Irish.
I also
So
get
the Irish are the Irish.
Yeah.
The Northern Irish are British.
333, they'll tell you. Northern Ireland, a guy called Rory McIlroy ripped his shirt like Hulk Hogan because he lost in Dubai. Yeah, the Irish, Northern Irish passion.
What game does he play?
Stick ball. Oh, wait.
Hockey.
Hold on, I'll tell you what game Rory McIlroy plays.
He's vacating the chair.
Walk around.
Wow.
Rory McIlroy.
Oh, golf. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Rory. So, but he lost and he ripped his shirt open like... you remember when Hulkamania? Bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a Hulkamania, lost his cool. Northern Irish, very passionate. Been to Belfast?
No, never. In fact, it's
the Northern Irish people are different people. Mm-hmm. You need to be ready for a prickly environment at all times.
Right.
But because I'm into it and I love like boxing and I'm a little bit of a, one of those
prickly
guys.
As in they got a short fuse or they don't like foreigners.
No, it's just always. I don't know if you've been to places in the world where the tension's palpable. Mm-hmm. Like it's kind of like being in the middle of Johannesburg town.
Right.
You don't need anything to happen to you to know that stuff is happening to people. Yeah,
I get you.
That's Belfast. And also they're like really intense people, which I like. I like that because they're from we're gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah.
And people have been burning us down. Plus those guys. They call them leprechauns down there. They don't like the Republic of our, the Catholics. Mm-hmm. They don't like them.
Right.
There's a whole Catholic Protestant thing. That was stopped by grannies in the end, by the way, or at least fueled towards the stoppage by a bunch of grannies were a huge part. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Irish history. I don't know if you know that.
No.
Like a bunch of older ladies said eventually they went to the, what are the IRS guys?
IRS.
What is it?
IRA?
IRA guys.
IRS very different to
the
IRA.
No. That's the Revenue Services of America.
Yeah.
But anyway, a really, really interesting part of the history was that, like, eventually it took the mothers to go to the IRA guys and say, "Take a seat." I'd imagine they said it like that.
Take a seat.
Take a seat.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be like that.
James, you might want to subtitle that one.
Yeah, James, I'm obviously doing an Irish accent, as you can hear. You probably think I'm Ronan O'Gara, famous for playing rugby. Were any Irish Formula One guys?
There was a joker called Eddie Irvine.
He was okay, so he wasn't bad. He where's he from? Republic or Northern Ireland?
I actually don't know.
Not sure.
I don't know. I never really cared enough to find out.
Yeah, whatever. It's just an island anyway, and it's extremely muddy and wet. But I do like Irish people across the board. Love Belfast. I like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Republic and up north. Went on the. You've been on the Guinness tour, by the way. Now that we're talking about Irish,
because I haven't been to Ireland. So
What?
I've never been to Ireland.
Scottish thing. Do you
No,
get nervous?
not, it just never was in my itineraries.
Dublin's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's a cool holiday, and even if it's like fun as a couple or single,
Right.
Like, it's just a cool place, and they got a good vibe. The people, the Irish in Dublin have a good vibe. Lindo Gutle says, haven't caught up in a while. Anyway, it's good to be back. All right, Lindo, welcome back, and let's get straight into events. Spike yesterday, Qatar. I mean, is this drama not like? This is awesome.
Yeah.
Because now Lewis, Sao Paulo, boom, boom. Now we got 2 more races.
Yeah.
Yes, man. I'm all about it.
He's come back in the best way at like the best possible time. And
Yeah.
I do want Max to be world champion, but I'm really hoping they go into that last race points tied, because it's a possibility. It's almost a reality that, you know, they will go there on identical points.
So what has to happen? Lewis wins in.
So if Lewis wins with fastest lap in Saudi,
yeah,
points are tied.
and this is presuming Verstappen comes second.
If Max finishes second, yeah, and then they go. Then there are points tied into the last race, and then it's just whoever beats. It doesn't matter where they come, almost as long as they finish in the points. Whoever finishes ahead of the guy behind, he's won.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, listen. The permutations are these. I mean, we were going to get to these, but we might as well while we're talking about it. I'm in Irish mode now. Max can win the title at the next race in Saudi if he, right, point number 1, wins with the fastest lap and Lewis is 6th. Wins and Lewis is 7th. Is second with the fastest lap and Lewis is 10th. Is second and Lewis fails to score. Wow, those are unlikely. Lewis Hamilton. The great ones win when they have to. I mean, I can't see Lewis. You know what Lewis will do? And I'd love to know what you think. He'll manage it so that at the very worst, he's between 4th and 5th.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely that, barring any kind of failure, Lewis is going to finish 6th or lower. I think it's, as you say, it's nigh impossible that he'll be down that low. But you know, this is what interesting seasons are made of. Maybe he will encounter some kind of mechanical trouble. They've reverted to for the race in Qatar. He got a new engine in Brazil. They reverted to the higher mileage unit in Qatar. So I don't know what engine they're going to go into Saudi with, but you know, these things happen. Stranger things have happened in Formula One where you're expecting it to go one way and it goes completely the other.
But this is how it should go.
Yeah, absolutely. And there were a lot of comments going, this is one of the greatest championship seasons ever. Maybe not in terms of pure racing, but just how close it's been throughout the season in terms of the way it's swapped hands and how we could end up going to the final race on equal points.
With especially how complicated Formula One is, it's almost impossible for it to be this close. Because so much can go wrong in Formula One. You know, it's not like rugby and football. You can relatively control the moving elements. But, I mean, a guy leaves a screw in Italy when you're in... This is how small the margins are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In Formula One, just there's so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah, and plus we've had the race this season that went down to half points, so we've got that 0.5 little bit as well.
This is awesome. All right, but let's talk about Qatar, because it was another electric weekend. The start was sensational. But before
fantastic.
that... so, by the way, I didn't watch it. I was in Cape Town.
So do they not have Formula One in Cape Town?
No, I was working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's different.
I'm a Formula One aficionado, but I was in the middle of work at the time.
Okay.
By the way, night race, fantastic. I'm lying. I was flying back, actually.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened.
Well, it was during the day here. It was night there, but it was during the day here.
What time was it here?
It was 4 o'clock here.
I was firmly into a history documentary on a podcast on an airplane at that time.
Okay.
So, penalties for Verstappen. Like, what happened there? Well, take me into the start. What happened before with him
so
and
it was that came about in qualifying where it was Pierre Gasly who was in Q3, And they were on their hot laps. It was the last attempt at setting a pole time. Gasly got himself a puncture, brought out a waved yellow that was then retracted, but then they put out another yellow, and then they put out a double waved yellow. So double waved yellow is slow down, prepare to stop. And Bottas and Verstappen failed to slow down, and that's one of the criteria under a yellow flag. You have to slow down, and they've got enough data in the world to see if you actually slowed down or not. So they didn't slow down, and they both got hit with grid penalties.
Before
so that's,
we get... Yeah. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that's why they ended up further back down. That's why we ended up with this, what was potentially an amazing grid, setting up a potentially amazing race with Hamilton on pole, Gasly second, Alonso third, Sainz fourth.
Yeah.
I mean, it was looking really, really good.
Yeah. But now tell me this, with machines this sophisticated, why do they leave it in the driver's hands? Like,
So
can you control speed? Can you cap a car's speed from the cockpit?
Yeah, but why would you want to?
No. I'm saying in this situation, like to avoid. I'm saying if I'm a team principal, I don't want to take those kinds of chances. So let's say I can cap your car.
Yeah.
Boom. Send that information. At the most you can do within the next 100 meters is.
Well, technically yes, you can. According to the rules, you can't, because you are not allowed to assist the driver in any way. So you can't. In years gone by, the information flow between the engineer and the driver was a lot more involved. At a stage in the 90s, I believe it was, they had an ability to make settings to the car via radio. So the pit wall would adjust parameters on the car. And over the years, they've dialed that back to the point now where the driver is in sole control of the car. So you cannot influence the driver's speed or his settings or whatever via the pit. It's not part of the rule. The rules say you're not allowed to do it anymore.
And it's better because people make mistakes. That's good for the product.
Exactly.
That's a real test. Now because what do people always say, Spike, with technology is that, it's not the best driver who wins. So I do kind of like this rule.
Yeah.
It's, hey, that's on the driver, and part of the skill is listen and be aware.
It's the same with digital editing, digital photo editing software or music creation software. People will say, it's the computer doing all the work. It's not. You still have to have that operator knowing how to extract the best out of those tools to give you the result you want. Same with an F1 driver. You can give them all the electronics. If you or I got in that car with the best electronics in the world,
no way.
Everyone in that grid would be 10 times faster than us without any electronics. So
except Mazepin, I think
he had a tough weekend. Wow. I mean, to go into qualifying 2 seconds slower than your teammate at a track where you're one of two drivers on the grid you're one of two guys on the grid who's only ever driven that track before. Mazepin and I want to say Perez were the only guys who've ever raced at Qatar before.
Yeah.
No one else had raced there before. Mazepin goes there and ends up 2 seconds slower than his teammate in qualifying.
Boy. But my dad owns the team, so screw you guys.
So screw you guys.
Yeah, but so that's what happened to the lads, and obviously that is what it is. But then Max Verstappen said, "Hold my beer," because
wow,
like I'm not having any of this. I mean, that start. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and everyone was saying before the race, it was better to be on the left-hand side because it was the grippier side. There were no support races, so there was one racing line. And, on that start-finish, it was on the left-hand side. That was the better place to be. And interestingly, if you go on board with Verstappen at the start, he got a much better reaction to the lights than both Bottas and Sainz, who were the cars around him. So he was already at an advantage going in, straight off the line. But then he stayed right for a long part of that first section and, rode through the dust and managed to gain positions that way. I think he was 4 places up or 3 places up, by the first corner. It was a phenomenal start. It was really, really amazing to watch, but this is why the guy is where he is in the championship.
Yeah. James, did you see, obviously me being a Formula One aficionado, people are saying, but you didn't watch the race. You're very wrong. I watched the highlights, and I have to be honest, this morning, I watched them this morning, but on the F1 app. Incredible stuff, that app. You got to use it. You watched the race today, James?
I actually didn't.
What's the story?
I was busy with some other stuff last night.
Like what?
Not last night, sorry, yesterday afternoon.
What's more important than watching the Formula One?
I had some video editing stuff to do.
What, for work or?
Yeah.
No, so not just your vibe stuff.
No, I had a promo to make for some stuff.
And now it's done.
That's all I can say.
I've seen it, by the way. You did an incredible job.
Thank you.
You did a great job. James does a great job at that. So
Well, he's a producer extraordinaire, so I mean, you would expect him.
no, that's true. That's true. And nothing you've said is a lie, and nothing I've said is a lie. That video is absolutely great. So you didn't watch the race, yeah? You watched the highlights?
I saw a couple of things on across Twitter this morning, but I
so
didn't
you can't
actually watch
contribute.
any.
Come on.
You can't contribute to this because I watched it on the F1 app, which you can watch. You can't
Aren't you
contribute.
just like the coolest person ever?
No, well, I mean, I'm putting in the hard yards because I'm on a sports show, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. It's called being professional. It's not being cool. Like, being professional is not cool,
So-
by the way. Like, imagine if I said to you, oh, you can use Adobe. Oh, so cool, Mr. Editor. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean, James? Like, I'm not coming to you and saying, oh, Premiere Pro Cut or whatever you use. Oh, very cool. You can use that. Like, oh, no, that's your job. You should know how to do that.
No, but you went. Oh no, I watched it on the F1 app.
Yeah.
That's how cool I am.
No, it's not cool. It's what I did.
I was actually being professional by not watching the race because I was working. So
This guy. All right.
Anyway.
There's no helping someone.
Yeah.
It's Gen Z. What you going to do? You know? They don't know what's going on. They're like TikToks. His whole life's TikTok. That's what's going on. I mean, I did watch it, and that start was... I thought Alonso was going to cut him off at there. I thought they were going to... Hey, elbows out.
Oh, Alonso almost spoiled some parties.
Yeah!
But, that's Alonso. Yeah.
What's his teammate's name again? Ocon. He said, "Did you?" I mean, I want to kind of. I'm jumping a little bit forward in the race here, but I loved when Alonso got on the radio and said, "What did he say? Defend like a lion."
Tell Esteban to defend like a lion.
Yes, I loved it. And from what I like about that attitude, that started on the very start. By the way, the way he nearly cut Verstappen off.
Yeah.
Incredible start by Verstappen, though.
Yeah, it was, and that really set up his race. I think it would have been a matter of time before we got the rest of them, particularly given the pace of the AlphaTauri, which was nowhere, which, considering where they were in qualifying, was quite sad. I think they were the biggest losers of the weekend as a team. But I think Verstappen ultimately would have got that second place. I mean, the two of them, Hamilton and Verstappen, were just in another league yesterday. They were so much quicker than everybody else.
Yeah. And is that by the way, Qatar, we're not going to sort that curb out. I mean, everyone's got a flat front left.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a bike circuit. Whether they're sorted out by the time we're back there in 2023, I don't know. But I think it adds an extra challenge. You know, especially in the later part of the race where you are now in a serious tire management phase, where you are Fernando Alonso, who's defending a podium, with a Red Bull chasing you, being told just stay off the curbs. Meaning you have to drive a more conservative lines, you have to carry less speed.
Yeah.
So you are slowing down and you've still got to try and maintain that position. I think it's an extra challenge.
And I think it's great. Again, technology we mustn't allow that to take away just from pure driver skill. And again, this is another dimension. You've got to have this in your armory in order to be able to have the discipline to do this. Charlene Costa. Charlene's Portuguese. Love that. Costa. It's a great Portuguese surname. Or Brazilian. So let me not be ignorant. Charlene says, F1 exciting stuff. Too good to miss. Charlene, totally with you. And I didn't miss it yesterday. Unlike James, I'm a professional. Got on F1 this morning, watched the highlights. I love it. I love where this is going. Yes, I'm loving it. And yesterday, one of the olds, me, you, old guys, Alonso.
Yeah.
I just love that. And there was... Where was it? I think it was when Max was trying to... obviously, Max was coming. Like, Alonso, we knew, inevitably, like you said, the speed was phenomenal. Alonso was not letting Max pass, by the way.
No, but he never would. It's like, you know what, I'll make it as difficult as possible. Ultimately, you will get me probably, but I'm not going to just hand it over to you, you young whippersnapper. But there's two things about that. There was, during the race, they flashed up the stat on who's had the most passes during the season, which is now a thing.
Yes.
So at the end of the season, you know, you get a prize for executing the most overtakes. The top three drivers across the season who have executed the most overtakes: Alonso, Vettel, Raikkonen. The three old boys have overtaken more than anybody. They're at the top of the table in terms of overtakes.
Now, I guess in fairness, Lewis Hamilton and those guys will go, well, we were always at the front.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of overtaking to do. But we don't have...
But I like that it's the old.
The Gasly's, the Tsunodas, you know, the Ocons. Those guys are not doing the overtakes.
Yeah.
The old guys are doing the overtakes, which is awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's, you know, the only way is that it's kind of like any sport, right? And again, I'm down for this because everybody always wants to focus on, say... Let's just say back in the day, it was Manchester United and Arsenal, right? I'm just going to use football across sport. back in the day, it was just shoomy, right? That was bad for Formula One. And that showed through the numbers, it showed through lack of interest, is that everybody always thinks that's awesome. But what actually, the depth of the quality of the story is important. Like now, the Premier League's better than ever because there's 7 or 8 teams who can win the Premier League.
Absolutely.
Golf is better. Like, okay, Tiger was an anomaly. I think Tiger captured everyone's imagination, and that was just like, okay, let's not use Tiger. But I think it's great for Formula One that there's stories there as well. Alonso and all these guys that's important for the depth of the story. And I hope they do a season like a Legends. Drive to Survive.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's cool. The main story is cool, but they should do have an off-spin hour-long episode, Legends, or whatever.
Yeah, these are the old guys.
Are we giving them free content here? I've just given them an idea. They're going to steal it.
I don't know. Well, it's out there now. It's too late. You can't protect it.
It is, and they are probably,
we've given everybody, we've given them, Verstappen clogs.
Verstappen. So that's going to come out. That's annoying.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of money so far.
Yeah. No, that's on us, though. That's not on Formula One for having a great product. But awesome. Yes. So the old, moving, grooving, Alonso, podium.
Yeah, and as a long-time Alonso fan, it was really amazing to see him up there again. I think he got the virtual safety car just in the nick of time. I think had that VSC not made an appearance, he would have been sweating a little bit more, and I think there's a possibility Checo would have caught him and possibly passed him. Such was the speed difference. So a bit of luck going his way. He was on the podium. It was I think the third time a 40-year-old has been on an F1 podium, which I'm very surprised by. I read that stat this morning and I didn't double check it, but if it is only the third time a 40-year-old's been on the F1 podium, that makes it even more amazing.
History.
Yeah. It's phenomenal.
James.
But the interesting thing that the most interesting thing that I got out of Alonso's podium was his post-race interview.
Oh, yes.
Where they were saying, how does it feel to be back on the podium? He's, it was wonderful. And he let slip, I don't know, maybe it's in the script and he wasn't supposed to tell anyone.
Yeah.
Maybe he can see the future, I don't know. But he said it's really good to be up there on the podium with 2 great champions, Lewis and Max.
Oh, now the conspiracy theories are out.
There we go. So maybe he knows something we don't about Max Verstappen's World Championship pending.
Oh, maybe oh my gosh, we got to watch, I love Fernando Alonso, but we have to watch his gambling patterns from now on. Fernando, listen, I know he's probably got $300 million, if not more.
Yeah, around about that.
Yeah, so, it's about the thrill. He's probably going to be gambling on it. We need to watch him. I do love Fernando Alonso. But James, you know what he sounded like when he was talking about it? In terms of...
I know where this is going and it's...
What do you mean?
I know exactly where you're going.
Where's it going? What do you mean?
Go ahead. I know where it's going.
Fernando Alonso.
Yep, there it is. There it is.
Very happy to have a competition. The drivers is tough. Qatar is muy caliente. In Qatar is a nice airport.
Sounding more Mexican than anything else there.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's important. The car is good. In Hannes is good. It's good driving. I used to drive for Ferrari. It's Italian.
Now you're Italian.
So but that's what he sounds like, James. And he said, "I'm just grateful to be on the podium." That's Fernando Alonso.
There we go, James. Now you don't have to watch the highlights anymore.
I can just watch the MKT show tonight.
Yeah. Well, that's the presser, James. What are you? That was Fernando in the press conference in Qatar, saying he's muy happy. What's happy again in?
Did you just say muy happy?
Yeah, very happy.
You went to Afrikaans and English.
Not muy. Muy is very in Spanish.
Oh, like muy bueno.
Yeah, I'm very happy. It went well. It's good. It was tough. The left front, he was going flat for everyone, but not for me. Fernando Alonso, I won championship. I showed the metal.
Do you think he knows or do you think him and Salma Hayek know each other?
I don't think that's... No, Halma Hayek.
Wow.
That's her twin sister. That's her doppelganger. Salma Hayek probably... she'll celebrate him as a fellow sort of Hispanic hero to the world. You know what I mean? So she's probably like... I'm very happy for him. He's a big star, but not a bigger star as me. The Eternals is a movie with me, Angelina Jolie. She British accent. Me, I don't get it, but it's okay. I make my money. And Fernando is a good guy. He's a good guy. I'm a good guy.
Helma Sayek has a deep voice.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time to be Spanish, Mexican, American. Salma Hayek. Ciao. So yeah, that's yeah. That's
I hated every
no,
second
but James,
of
that's
that.
an official message from Salma Hayek to Fernando Alonso, and
What?
I did his press conference before that. Why do you have a problem with that?
Are they actually from the same country though?
No. Once, I mean, they both speak Spanish.
Yeah, one's from Mexico.
That's a bit racist from you as well. Not all
No,
Spanish-speaking
it's not.
people are.
Because there's multiple countries in the world that speak Spanish.
No, I knew that, but you said I'm not the one who said. Clearly, an American Mexican is from the same country as one of the most famous Spanish people to ever live. So you see how you're the one actually who's being offensive there, not me.
I refuse. Nope. I refuse to let this land on me.
Yeah, Fernando Alonso. I mean, what's sorry again? Obrigado is thank you. I forget what sorry is in Spanish, but at the end, Fernando would have said, "I'm a great champion." He say obrigado, and then he'd be out.
No, that's Portuguese.
Oh,
Tracy.
sorry, that's Portuguese.
Tracy Bard brings up a good question. Can you do Sofia Vergara? Please try, please.
No, because
Please.
you know what? When I do them, I like to do an accurate representation. I don't want it to get racist. And with Sofia Vergara, I might have to... Who knows? Maybe Sofia Vergara... Now, this is a good way to keep people watching the show, because maybe Sofia Vergara will make an appearance on the show sometime.
You might actually have be in contact with her currently via email.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I'll chat to her, and I must just watch more of her stuff.
Modern Family.
Terrible. There's no way. Have you ever seen that show?
No.
I would honestly.
I think I've watched maybe 2 or 3 minutes of it and thought, this is not for me.
Do you guys really hate it that much?
I would rather. Let me tell you what. Can I tell you one thing I'd rather do than watch Modern Family or Big Bang Theory or How I Met Your Mother or any of those classic sitcoms? Can I tell you what? Honestly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart.
Paint drying.
Well, are you going to tell me what I'd rather do, or do you want to hear it?
Oh,
I didn't say guess.
I
See, I never make that mistake with people.
Sorry.
I didn't say guess. Don't take liberties here, James.
Sorry, that's
I'm going to tell you.
Yep. Nope, I'll take it.
I would rather be caught by the largest crocodile in the Nile, right, in between its teeth, go through the death roll. So I want the death roll, the full death roll, where, oh my God, I'm done. Oh, this is PTSD. I've never actually been tortured in the army, but this is what it feels like, with incredible pressure from guns on a crocodile. I'd rather go through that, be bleeding to death, right? I'm drowning, I'm in a death roll. I'm human, I'm not made to spin like this. I'm not a crocodile. I'd rather go through that and survive and be left out for a leopard to come grab my leg and just tear my leg off and survive that on the riverbed, and then have vultures come and pick at my leg while I'm alive for 13 days, right? And survive until the very end, where an eagle rips my eyeballs out. I'd rather do that than watch Modern Family.
Sounds like you're willing to go through a lot of Spain.
I'm willing, yeah. I'm willing to go the extra mile not to watch it. It's the MKT Show.
Did you say extra Nile?
I did. It's the MKT Show. Alonso is a good driver. He's got plenty of experience, skill, and he's on the podium.
And swearing all about it.
Yeah, no. So I was not aware of that.
Yeah,
by the way, in the break, we there's a lot of chatter in here, which is pretty electric. So Fernando just dropping the F-bomb in
dropped it, not like he didn't know any better, not like he hasn't done 1,000 post-race interviews live in his life, but he still took the opportunity to drop a little F-bomb and make the Sky Sports commentators apologize for his language.
So I want to address two things there. I got no problem with him swearing because he probably feels, I imagine, what a shark feels like that's living in an aquarium. If you let him back into the normal sea, he or she, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to both genders of sharks.
I like the fact that you assume sharks have got feelings, which they probably don't.
Well, I mean, sharks' feelings.
Yeah, don't think so.
You know, how big's their prefrontal cortex? We don't know this. Do you know?
But I mean, is it big enough to hold enough for feelings and thoughts of food, or is it all about thoughts of food?
Because in order to reason, you have to have something called the third eye. Now, James, if you are looking not to obviously clog up the third eye, because I know you're super into the chakra vibes, is you can't use any fluoride. You've got to stay away from that in toothpaste.
Yeah.
So
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, blocks your synapses.
Did you not know this?
No, I swear I didn't.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible for you and your chakra friends.
Oh,
But
you're going to have to break up with your dentist now, James.
I don't have any chakra friends.
But have you never spoken to anyone about the dangers of fluoride?
I don't have any friends that are into this whole vibe. So
No.
I don't know
It's a
anything about it.
conspiracy on its own. They're not telling you the truth, James.
Yeah,
Get better
That's
friends.
probably true. Yeah.
That's true, dude. Dude, do not mess around with this. Too much fluoride will block your third eye, and you're not going to be able to see the truth because the Illuminati is trying to get you. But if you use fluoride, they're blocking your third eye, so you can't be conscious enough to go to the sixth dimension. Because
Oh no!
all right, let's do the full lesson. I got it. Sorry.
Oh, no, come on. We've only got like 15 minutes left.
Damn it!
I just want to do a lesson for you. We're in the third dimension. This is the sleep state, right? The fourth dimension is the dream state. the fifth dimension is being awake, and then the sixth dimension is enlightenment. So stay away from the fluoride, otherwise you're never gonna get to graduate. It's like a PhD basically for your chakras.
God forbid I don't make it to the
Whoa. God has nothing to do with this. That's a whole separate thing.
Also, can we reflect on the fact that Robin said sharks are people too?
Baby shark.
No.
Come on.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Is that an earworm?
No.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, Formula One, great sport, but it's not just about, obviously, Lewis, boom, Alonso, the winner. But there's a sharp side to it, is that there's got to be, where there's winners, there has to be losers in life, right?
Sure.
Not everyone gets to win, otherwise it would just be called Montessori. There are some losers from this weekend. Just the first one. So you're saying AlphaTauri, huh?
Yeah, AlphaTauri, big losers. I think they were probably expecting much more given the strength of their qualifying. We had Gasly qualifying ultimately P2 thanks to the penalties for Bottas and for Verstappen.
Yeah.
And then we had his teammate Tsunoda qualifying outside of the top 10, but still Q11 and hoping for some points, I'm sure, especially given the pace that they were showing, that Gasly was showing during the weekend. Yeah, he was there or thereabouts the whole weekend. So when he lined up second on the grid, I thought, this is a good opportunity. We might see another Gasly shock win here after what he pulled off in Monza a couple of seasons ago. Ultimately, though, they're at a loss to explain where their pace went. He finished P8 and Tsunoda finished P13. And Gasly was like, he afterwards, he was saying he has no idea why they were so slow, why they lacked so much pace.
Yeah.
I think they were, especially given their fight with Alpine in the constructors, they were locked on 112 points each going into Qatar. And ultimately, they walked away with a big hiding. And Alpine has really pulled out a big gap there. So they've got a lot of work to do in the remaining two races to try and claw back any hope that they will beat Alpine in the constructors.
And you know what, when you're talking about the constructors, something I've been thinking about quite a bit lately in terms of that whole world. Because ultimately, listen, you're all top 1%, even the 0.01% of intelligent people work in Formula One, right? No one, the guy who's doing the drill for all of those teams is probably smart enough to be a rocket scientist. Like none of those, no dum-dums in there. No. There's no marketing students in there. There's no vibes guys that did James's whatever. Those are all like nerds. They've probably never spoken to a man or a woman, because gay people can be in Formula One too, by the way, James. Do not be homophobic. They've never spoken to a partner about a date ever. They are all just science, spreadsheets, Excel masters, right? And people like that have a thing, is they like career progression. Are there ever guys like positioning themselves to go to a bigger team? Like, I just hope they see me doing it here. And then they, like, at the end of the season, I've handed in my resignation. Is that like a news plot in Formula One where the certain, I don't know, second in charge engineer moves and now he's gone to because what about the trade secrets is what I'm always wondering.
No, look, the trade secrets is a big thing, and there have been cases over the years where team members have been they've got into big trouble. They've been banned from the sport for trading. They've been fined for trading. It's industrial espionage, basically. There was a big Ferrari McLaren debacle probably in the early 2000s. I can't remember the details, but it was a huge case, and Ferrari got fined, I don't know, $100 million or something ridiculous.
Was that Markle?
No, it was. I think it was just after Markle's time.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of in the midst of time now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movement of the personnel between the teams happens regularly. You do get, chief engineers moving from this team to that team, or chief designers or mechanics. Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's a career, so you're going to go to the company that, as much as it's a sport and people are passionate about it, ultimately it's a career. So these guys are going to look for positions where they could get ahead and they can build a career.
But now that you mention that, do you think they put in their contracts? Like if I was at Ferrari, McLaren triple my salary, does their salary count against the cap? Do you know? Because that's an important question.
I think the only salaries that aren't included in the cap are the driver's salaries.
All right, James, will you look that up? Will you see if engineers' salaries, while we're talking, I want to know if the engineers and the team guys' salaries count to the cap, because it's really, really important in this question. Because, again, it comes to, if you, let's say, triple my salary, McLaren, Ferrari back in the day, let's say now Red Bull, obviously, why wouldn't I take my secrets with me? I'm sure Toto goes, take a shit. Or I don't know how they take. That's not him saying go to the toilet.
No, it's
How would you say in German, take a seat? Und sit down.
Sitten Sie.
Sitzen Sie.
Sitten Sie.
Und chair.
I mean, we have to ask Sebastian. He's the most approachable guy for that kind of thing.
But I would imagine they set that up contract-wise. If we dare see a wing...
Absolutely. There's all that stuff is protected by intellectual property. Just like, I mean, even the most menial jobs in media have got those kinds of things. Like, you will not take our secrets anywhere. Anything you come up with while working for us is ours. Anything we tell you while you're working for us is ours. Don't tell anyone, otherwise we'll come in after you.
Because the one thing these guys have, these billionaires, is time. If you dare do that, excellent. I have something to do now.
Yeah.
Because
but I think also it's a defeating thing, because ultimately, if you are in the sport, you want to make a career out of it. You're not going to go and wreck your chances by spilling beans, because then you become the guy known as the guy who spilled the company secrets, and no one's going to hire you.
No, well said. You know what makes something like F1 even more unique than like the football world or rugby is if you get shut out in Australia for not being a very nice person, you can go play in France.
Yeah, true.
In Formula One, there's only literally one Formula One
there's
ever.
There's 20 teams, and those guys know who you are. And if you want to work in Formula One, then you play nicely.
And as much as they're competing, if there's one thing we've seen in terms of collusion and stuff, billionaires are doing it. They are talking. Like, hey, Sky called me. I hate you, but why are you letting go of him? Billionaires are talking all the time. Because ultimately, they're in it for the money.
Yeah.
So they want the product to do well. They don't really care about guys moving around. Ultimately, a little bit they do. But they'll go, good guy? Not a good guy? Yeah, I like that guy. Hire him, pay him 800,000 per race. Jimbo, what you got there, pal?
It says here that they can't actually... So this includes the team principal, the drivers. So essentially this article's about what's not included in this cap.
Okay.
And salaries as a whole are not included because each team has a different setup when it comes to their salaries, right? So...
True, and some teams are bigger than others, so
you can pay engineers as much as you want,
or as little as you want.
So that's off the books.
Well, it's not part of the cost cap. But I think the point of that is it's obviously just dawned on me now. But the thing is, you've got a team like Mercedes who's got, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of employees versus a Haas who've got far fewer employees. So if your salary bill counts towards the cap, Mercedes is at a disadvantage because they're paying more people. So a larger portion of their cap is going to salaries, whereas Haas has got fewer people, so they can spend more on the car.
It's also a thing of at some teams, the team principal and the CEO are the same person. So that's where it becomes a thing of how do you pay your top 3 employees, being the driver and the principal, as well as... Do you know what I mean?
Or you're saying he might get a little selfish and say, I want 2 salaries,
give me
max
2.
for me. Yeah. The max is getting none, actually. Max, your money is mine.
Yeah.
We actually... But then I might argue, and I think this is a fair argument, is that, no, it should be capped so that Haas can compete with McLaren. Or do you like the open market?
No, I think you if you do include it, you kind of incentivize teams to downscale. You're saying to teams, look, we've only given you so much to pay salaries. And then they're saying, okay, well, in that case, we're going to get rid of people so we can spend more on the car. I think if you exclude it, then, you're giving teams the opportunity to grow. To say, right, we'll hire, more engineers or more aerodynamicists or, and help bolster the team that way. And then you still get the benefit if you're a lower end team of having the extra time in the wind tunnel and that kind of thing. And then you've got more brains to apply to the problems that you have.
As in any situation where there's a grey area and billionaires. You know who the winner is here?
The billionaires. They all exploit the crap out of it.
The lawyers.
Also,
they are in there. In every team, there's probably 6 lawyers that do every contract rolling, and they are, because money you're going to need, and there's going to be, and billionaires don't trust many people. From what I've learned, is there's probably 6 or 7 lawyers, and they have like a cartoon size kind of what do you call it, like a rake, and they just rake all of the money every day. as like, oh, so and so quit. Excellent, Toto. What's happening, pal? They are absolutely loving it. But by the way, night race. Hey, told you, looks unbelievable.
Before we move on from the rules,
Yes.
can I make a request quickly?
By the way, I don't own Formula One.
Yeah, we don't play music
No,
on the
but
show.
it's a
James.
request for the MKT show.
DJs
You
don't
own
take
the
requests
MKT show.
Yeah, I do.
Exactly, and that's what the request is for.
From who?
From
You? I'd like to know where the request is coming from, because that's important. It's like in politics, I would like to know who's funding the political parties everywhere in the world. So, and it will affect, James, here's the reality. The questions we ask determine the answers we get, and I've got to know the source, because is it James asking? Is it somebody else asking?
Well, it's James, and
On behalf of?
on behalf of a couple of the listeners.
Okay. Oh, then definitely. Please go ahead.
So remember a couple of months ago when we first started doing our F1 shows with Spike in the old studio?
Yes.
We had a request to do a like a review of all of the new sort of rules and stuff coming in for the 2022-23 season. Can we still do that after the last race of the season?
Now, good request. We will get back to you on that. Trust me, that is in the pipeline. We don't make empty promises here. So there's already something in the works. We'll let you know in terms of timelines. So at the moment, we are working on something. Trust me. Although people that say trust me are the ones that are difficult to trust. Like if you say trust me, it's kind of like...
It's like calling yourself cool.
Yes.
If you say I'm cool, then you're probably not cool. If you say trust me, you shouldn't probably trust that person.
Yeah.
And that's very,
But
very
we
true.
do have something in the pipeline, and we are working on it.
You can trust that. Oh, no. That's not
don't
good.
do that.
Oh, no.
No, you've just made it untrustworthy.
Now they're going to unsubscribe. By the way, you should subscribe if it's your first time here.
And like.
Yeah, click like, that's that one. Also, if you hate the show, click dislike, because that's important. Integrity. Hashtag Mr. Integrity. Also, probably not what to say if you're full of integrity, you know what I mean?
You forgot the new one.
Marcus Aurelius said, James, you know Marcus Aurelius?
It sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar.
That's awesome.
I think I met him once.
What do you think you were into Saints with him? What do you mean sounds familiar? I think I saw him selling Boerewors rolls at Spa. Talk to me about how you got from Marcus Aurelius to sounds familiar. To what? Wait, Marcus Aurelius? Sounds familiar to what?
It just sounds familiar.
From where? Like, familiar is like pastrami. The deli. Oh, yes, I think I've seen it. Where does that sound? The deli. I think it was the deli. It might have been the shops. I don't know. So Marcus Aurelius sounds familiar. Just, James, what comes to your mind straight away? Please, I have to know. Don't think about it. Marcus Aurelius sounds familiar from?
A constellation in the sky.
That is incredible. That's all. Hey?
I mean, I'm just trying to think if there is actually... No, there isn't.
That is awesome. Constellation in the sky, huh? Yowzers. Saint Stidians. That's what you get. That's what you get for paying the cost of a house every year.
Yeah.
That's the kind of university. That's what they're churning out.
To get told that Roman emperors are in fact constellations.
One of the last good emperors wrote a book, Meditations. You got to look it up, Jimbo. I got a copy at home. You want it? You won't know.
I know who Sigmund Freud is.
You know who Sigmund Freud is?
Was he also a Roman emperor?
No.
Or a constellation in the sky?
I know who Oedipus is too.
No, you don't. We've discovered this. You have no clue.
Wow.
And you don't even know what the... Yeah. And by the way, I think you think he lived in a complex, which he didn't.
Just because you live in a complex, James.
Yeah. No, Oedipus didn't live in a complex. Like, there's a whole thing.
I educated you on Oedipus, and I was quite proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, this was after I had... So we were in the kitchen.
I'm glad I wasn't part of that conversation.
No, like, that was on the show, obviously. I was like, okay, maybe you should go away. Because we were sitting in the kitchen. Well, what happened to educating MKT, by the way?
Ever since I got moved to my back room, we haven't done it yet, still.
Well, I'd like to be educated.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like I went to Saint.
Brace yourself, because tomorrow I will educate you.
Okay, but we were sitting in the kitchen one day, and James said philosophy. He started listening to a philosophy podcast,
Right.
And I think he kind of picked up early on that I'm not an aficionado, but I do like philosophy, like whatever. I know nothing actually, which is
a good philosophy.
yeah, Socrates, but he's not the Brazilian soccer player, the famous captain from Brazil, James, and definitely not a constellation in the sky. But anyway, so James said to me, "Oh, dude, you know what? I'm really into meaningful. Lately, I'm just into like meaningful stuff. Like I found a philosophy podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, this is excellent. This guy needs to tell me everything. So he says to me, yeah, dude, the Oedipus complex. I'm like, okay.
Wow. He went
And
straight
then,
there.
but he James, what would you call it as a youngster? Because the version he gave me, because he really left out an important part where I let him tell me the whole part. Actually, the main part of the complex, which he doesn't live in or own, by the way, is what he left out.
Right.
So he told me the whole story, and I said, oh, but what about telling me that part? And then obviously that changed it for him. Like, oh, that's so important for the whole thing to work. But he thought he was educating me, having listened to a podcast, probably 15 minutes,
Right.
bite size.
And,
So
and getting the kind of bullet points.
yeah. Tough with philosophy. Can't just do bullet points. You got to read the whole thing, and not available on Instagram if you want to learn. And listen, driver of the day. I thought somebody who's been under immense pressure, whether it's from his mates, social media, and kind of everyone. When you're in the position he's in order to be in your seat. Driver of the day. And by the way, total honesty, I did read an article that actually, I don't know what your reason is for awarding driver of the day to this guy.
Yeah.
But when I saw the notes,
Yeah.
by the way, we're a professional show. I read an article that agreed with what you're saying, by the way.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't disagree with Fernando Alonso getting driver of the day. I think he drove a stellar race. To manage those tires with the threat of the puncture, to keep Checo at bay, to stay off the curb, all those things we chatted about earlier.
Yeah.
He is deserving of it. But I do think another candidate that was there or thereabouts and possibly should have taken it was Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
I just think that he qualified. He didn't have a great qualifying run up till the race. Qualified 12th and just kept it together. Also on a one-stop, and brought it home in 6th, which I thought was a really good achievement. Beat his much more experienced teammate, who admittedly cocked up his first lap, but still, I thought Stroll drove a really good race, and I think a driver of the day for him wouldn't have been out of place.
Yeah. Listen, with just let's go sentiment, even though if you hadn't given it to Alonso,
Yeah.
I would say half of the Formula One watching population, regardless who they support, would be on you on social media, and some people in Saudi Arabia would have had signs to go, gentlemen,
Yeah.
because there's no way there would be so unhappy if Alonso didn't get it,
Yeah.
especially with the way he's so passionate.
But
Like,
this is the thing about this driver of the day award. I mean, yeah, it's a cool marketing thing, and it's like that they speak to the driver while he's on the cool down lap, going, "Oh, well done, you won." But I mean, how often has it been the sentimental thing of Norris wins in Russia?
Yes.
Come on.
yeah,
Alonso wins it in Qatar is another kind of example of the kind of, oh, it's so good to see the old guy back on the podium. Instead of looking at it going, who drove the best race, hands down. And, I suppose that's what you're going to get if you leave it out to public vote. You are going to get that big sentimentality swing coming in.
do people get to vote for
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it's all
That's never going to be objective.
Yeah, exactly.
That is. Where do you vote? On the app?
I think it's on F1 on the F1 website. I think.
Oh, while it's happening. All right, I'm going to vote for
the votes close at the end of the race.
Okay, because the guy we work with, Barrett Edelstein, just a firecracker human being. I wish more people could. You know what? You can't meet Barrett, actually. I always said to people, you can't meet Barrett. You can only experience Barrett. Because what I love about Barrett, he's all in.
Yeah.
Anyway, point is about Barrett Edelstein. Fantastic. Love him. Heart of gold, this guy. And by the way, great at his job. Super committed. But Barrett votes for the awards, like the Teen Music Awards and stuff.
Right.
The other day I caught him. Oh, no, I didn't catch him with Barrett. Hey, the great thing about Barrett, he'll tell you what he's doing.
There's nothing hidden there.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm like, he's like, yeah, no, I'm voting. I'm like, for what now? Like, what do you mean? The elections are like months away or like a month away or whatever. He's like, no. I'm voting for the music awards. I was like, wow. I had no idea people could do that.
Yeah.
James, you seem like somebody who might do that. You seem like somebody who would vote for Jesse Rodriguez or whoever's a big musician now. Selena Gomez.
Did you just make up a name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Am I that out of touch that I don't know who Jesse Rodriguez is?
Yeah. No, but I would imagine there is a Jesse Rodriguez who's...
I actually once upon a time.
Met Jesse Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Wow.
he was a dope dude.
That's amazing. Now there's Jose Rodriguez, who's a bit of an electric factory from Real Madrid, went to PSG, and then he was up to some stuff on the side of the football pitch. That's why his career it didn't take off.
Different Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So I actually, when I still had like a tiny little Sony Ericsson,
Yeah.
I voted once on
Not shocked by that. He's exactly the type of person who
for
votes.
like one of those kids, Nickelodeon kids.
I'm not
for-
shocked by
Oh,
that.
wow.
I told
There you
you,
go.
this is James, having met him, is
Yeah.
the exact type of person who votes for that stuff and thinks it matters.
James, how long ago was this? Like 2 or 3 years
It's
ago?
2 weeks ago.
Wow, I'm offended.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
well, that's
James.
fine. No, sorry. I'm glad you said that. James? Now, this is a philosophical lesson. I know you don't like philosophy from some of the stuff you told me. You said you're offended. Congratulations. More people need to hear that. You're offended? Congratulations.
Thank.
No, because your immediate thing is I'm offended. Oh, sorry. No.
No.
People that say offended, I tell you what, here's a ticket. You know where this ticket's going? It's a one-way ticket as well, Jimbo. Straight to hell. Right, go ahead. Straight to hell for people that tell me I'm offended like I should care.
I mean, I wasn't serious. It takes a lot more to offend.
No. Well, there's a bigger lesson to be learned because the whole world isn't about you. Somebody will hear you say offended and then we can carry the lesson forward. You know what I mean? So I'm also not being
Okay.
serious because I don't actually have a one-way ticket to hell. So that was also hyperbole.
You mean a hyperbole?
Don't you tell me what I mean. Now I'm offended. Don't you? You think I'm going to sit here and listen to you who thinks that a constellation in the air is one of the greatest Roman emperors of all time? You think I'm going to listen to you tell me what I mean? I'll be, honestly, and this is not racist, I'll be a monkey's uncle before I listen to you. All right, James, yeah? What were we saying? Sorry, I got a bit emotional there.
Driver of the day. Is what
Yeah,
we're on about.
Let's go back to that because I don't want to say anything now.
Yeah, no, listen, Stroll getting it. I mean, I got a bit emotional. I'm going to get carried away there. It's going to happen. But fair enough. You know, Fernando, he's a winner.
I just like to, give Stroll a bit of respect. I know he comes in for a hard time. He's not the greatest personality on the grid, that's for sure. And I know a lot of people think he's only there because his dad owns the team, but he is. He's got a bit of talent, that guy.
Well, he came sixth in a Formula One race.
Yeah.
Like, stop now.
But also, he's put in some good races. He's got some good results.
He's not Mazepin.
No, he's
Like
certainly not Mazepin, and he certainly, on more than one occasion, had the measure of his 4-time world champion teammate. So
I would say less than 10,000 people for the remainder of mankind's existence, right? Because at this rate, I don't know how much longer we've got
10,000
left.
is a generous number.
I think less than 10,000 people will ever finish sixth in a Formula One race.
Oh yeah. No, I think there's.
So stop. He's not Mazepin. Like he's like let's get away from that.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. You know what was awesome about the way it's gone now? The Constructors' Championship is gonna be electric. Nico Kritzinger, by the way, before we get into the says, are we going to bet on what Mazepin's tally is going to be at the end of the season? I'll say 26.5.
Where's he at the moment, Jimbo?
Oh, that's excellent. Mazepin is currently on.
Looking. 21.5. So he's got that's three spins in the next 2 races. That's sure.
Possible. I'd say possible.
Yeah, we're at a new circuit next time out, so that'll up the odds.
I'd take the over in betting terms. I'm a bit of a betting aficionado. Not sure if you can hear
I
that.
think 26 is a bit high for me.
You'd have to spin 5 times.
He didn't spin this weekend.
At all.
No, but
That's what it
also
says here.
but also he sat out 2 free practice sessions. So
So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
you know, that's basically like saying I didn't lose to Roger Federer at tennis. You know?
No, it's nothing like that. What
No, it
does
is.
that mean?
Because I've never played Roger Federer at tennis. So what I'm saying is when you sit out 2 practice, you know what I mean? He sat out two opportunities to go do his thing. So it's like me saying I've never lost to Roger Federer at tennis. You know what I'm saying? That's because you never played him, pal. That's so you know what? For content, they should force him to drive more than everyone.
Nikita, you do have to race in practice 3. But my engine just exploded in practice.
Great.
3. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's your problem.
Oh, no, glad you said that. We actually have a car set up for you already.
Take mixed car, just for 10 laps.
Excellent. Glad you said that. Hate to hear about your problems, but we were ready for you. Yeah, but Constructors' Championship now is ablaze.
So it's tight at the top, which is always good. So we've got that 5 or 6 point difference between Mercedes and Red Bull, and given the luck that Bottas has had over the last few races, and given his general demeanor, and given the fact that he's exiting the team, he probably doesn't care too much about the Constructors' Championship for Mercedes, which means I think Red Bull have got a very good chance of taking it, because you've got Perez, who is fired up. Certainly a little bit lashed after this last race, where he didn't think the team had the best strategy and he lost out on a podium, according to him. So he's going to come out and want to prove himself a little bit. And I think, certainly at the top of the table for the winners of the drivers of the Constructors' Championship, we're going to see a cracker battle, and I wouldn't be surprised if Red Bull takes that.
That's awesome. Because you know what, smart people, like maybe not any of those drivers have the IQ of any of the constructors guys.
Yeah.
If there's one thing extremely smart people have, is the biggest egos in the world.
Oh yeah.
If people don't think that matters to guys to win it, there's a bunch of geniuses, wherever you belong in the world. They are, as much as, okay, we care about the driver, there's guys sitting with Lewis Hamilton going, Lewis, do this for us. Like, what do you need?
Come on, please.
Next year, we know everything's changing.
Yeah.
And then there's guys at Red Bull who are fired up about it. Smart people have massive egos. They can try and hide it as much as possible. That's something to watch.
Yeah, and you've got the same battle lower down in the field. You've got Ferrari and McLaren, who Ferrari have come back massively, and McLaren have got a huge fight now to try and retain, or to try and regain and hold on to that third position in the championship. I don't see it happening just off the back of Ricciardo's performances. He's just not. He kind of was looking good towards the middle of the season. Looked like he's found his mojo again.
Yeah.
They did have an issue with the last with Qatar, where they had some bad data on the fuel. So he basically ran a race where he was fuel saving, where he apparently didn't have to be. There was something wrong with their calculations or the software or something.
Oh boy.
So he was running out of the points. Lando had a bit of bad luck. He was on for fourth place. They picked up a puncture. They had to pit him. The long and short of it is that Ferrari end up scoring more points again than McLaren. So they've got almost a 40-point deficit to Ferrari that they've got to try and cover and hold on to in the next two races. It's going to be really tough. Ferrari's going to need some seriously bad luck for them to lose that third position. And then, of course, Alpine and AlphaTauri, the two teams that at the beginning of the season set out to do battle against each other. Thanks to Alonso's fantastic podium and a great drive from Ocon as well, it must be said. They are now ahead of Alpine's ahead of AlphaTauri by 25 points. Again, AlphaTauri is going to need to put in a mammoth effort, which I don't think they're up to because of the weak link that is Tsunoda, who's sort of coming into his own now eventually after a full season. But it's going to be very tough, and I think Alpine's going to need some bad luck as well to lose that fifth position.
And you know what billionaires love? Because they all, like, there's billionaires who don't like each other in there. Guys, if we beat, and because billionaires will say this, right? If we beat those guys, they don't even care about winning it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
We all know it.
Yeah.
If we beat those guys, every single one of you are getting 100,000 euros in a duffel bag. Do you want that or not?
That's the bonus.
Yeah.
That's the bonus.
And everyone here, like, he'll say it out loud. You know, these billionaires are cowboys. If you don't think guys care about money as well, can you imagine the bonuses that are on the line for Red Bull and
that's the one.
and the Mercedes guys?
I would love to know what kind of bonuses get paid out for championship points, championship positions, wins, pole positions.
For the team.
For the team, for the drivers.
Look, the drivers are one thing. I'm saying, especially now that we know that, hey, their salaries aren't on the books. You could give each guy $1 million and they wouldn't care. and you better believe $1 million on the line. Because, listen, let's also be honest. Yes, they want to win. But a lot of these billionaires, this is not about the money. They just want to win. They love the thrill of winning, a lot of them. You know, they've got enough money. Toto doesn't pitch up because it's about the money anymore. He's pitching up. He loves the thrill of getting it right, winning. You know what I mean? All of these guys, the great Jean Todt, these guys weren't pitching up for money eventually.
I don't think Jean Todt ranks up there on the money scale, but certainly the ego is definitely there.
Yeah, I want to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I mean, Toto has got money on the line and ego. I mean, that's the combo.
Yeah, that's the win. That's getting the best. There it is. I mean, Formula One, they've got incredible social media. What a race we've had in Qatar. And now the countdown is on for the 2022 World Cup. Obviously, shout out to Infantino, who's there for a World Cup that has made French football incredibly interesting. Not sure if you've heard, right? But, basically, Qatar own PSG, right?
Right.
That guy there is the president of FIFA.
The guy on the left?
The guy on the left, the bald guy.
The guy in the middle is Stefano Domenicali, who at one time was boss of Ferrari.
Scottish.
No, Italian.
Demeri.
Domenicali.
Jeepers.
One time boss of Ferrari F1, one time boss of Lamborghini motorcars, and now president of the FIA.
He knows nothing about cars, is what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
He probably thinks...
Massively inexperienced.
He probably thinks Ferrari's a constellation in the sky, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The guy to his left is... I think I know. Oh, it looks familiar. James.
I'm pretty sure I saw him in the sky once.
Who is that?
He does actually look familiar.
Yeah, no. Unlike Marcus Aurelius, that
The
guy...
guy to his left, not the guy with the guy with the F1
The bald
tone.
guy is Infantino. He's the president of FIFA.
So left to right as we're looking at Infantino, Domenicali, and Jean Todt.
Jean Todt. I mean, I was
you
just
go.
talking about him. Jeez, he's...
Yeah.
Hey,
I knew I heard that name somewhere. He must have been a
So
constellation or something.
Jean Todt is president of FIA. Domenicali's involved with. He's running F1.
Jean Todt has aged, but winning will do that to you.
I think he's always looked that old. ever since the guy was 20 years old, he's looked like that.
It's probably just working like,
It's actually interesting you say that. Sorry, it's super random. But I was speaking to my friends this weekend, and we were speaking about Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you ever unsee Steve Martin with the really white hair? Like, was he just born that old?
That's a good
Yeah, he's
question.
had white hair for a long time.
He has, yeah. That's a... Unlike the Marcus Aurelius thing, that's actually... That's true and a good point.
Yeah. Like Paul Rudd doesn't get older either.
Paul Rudd, he doesn't age. He's Benjamin Button, basically, for the new age kids. We are in Saudi Arabia next, hey, Spike? What's
That is right.
New track, eh?
New track in Jeddah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very interesting. There's one section of the track that runs between a waterway, so you've got water both sides of the straightaway, which is going to be really cool to see.
Is that going to be... Oh, there's going to be stuff on the ground, surely. The water doesn't just... Like...
It's raised above the waterway, so you've got water left, and it's not a bridge. It's a road that runs. It's a piece of track that runs through the water.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting section of track. But yeah, it's another unknown. You know, no one's raced there before, so there's all the who does it suit is down to supposition and kind of guesswork. There's some characteristics that suggest that it'll suit the Mercedes a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, given the damage limitation that Max was managed to pull off at Qatar, perhaps it's going to be a little bit closer than we think.
You know what they should give as a prize in Saudi Arabia?
Mm-hmm.
You get an oil field. Like if you win here, for the most overtakes, you get a percentage of an oil field.
Mm-hmm.
If you win, you get one of the nieces and nephews. Sorry, one of your 16 oil fields is now gone.
Yeah,
it belongs
goes to Sir Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen.
That's it.
Yeah.
What do you get for fastest lap?
Nothing. Go home.
Yeah,
that's not good enough. Well,
you
one
get
lap's not
you
good
get
enough.
a point.
Yeah, we didn't build the Saudi net. Like the whole of Saudi Arabia was built over thousands of years. Go to hell. We don't just do one lap stuff.
I just thought you do actually get something
Nah.
fastest lap.
No. The king of Saudi Arabia says, listen, my dad built this.
What about just
Blood
like
and
a
stone.
drum of oil?
Blood and
Everyone
sand.
else gets like oil.
I'll tell you what
fields.
you get. Some sand. Take it home with you. That's what they'd say. Go to hell. One lap.
Yeah.
We don't care about that. Care about oil and winning. And it's going to be like a gold. That's going to be over the top, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the Saudis don't like to be outdone by anybody, so they're going to make it as big as possible.
Spike Ballantyne, you are a legend, sir.
Thank you. I'd like to leave you with one thought.
Yes.
There's a technical term in racing called VMAX, which is maximum velocity. Max Verstappen's website is verstappen.com. I have no idea why they didn't register VMAX.
Immediately, at birth.
Exactly. I mean, Max Verstappen, VMAX, it's just,
That,
another great idea we've just given them. We could have made money off it.
we're potential billionaires. Between Spike, James, me, we've given Formula One.
So many ideas.
A lot of
We
people are
should
saying
just
that's...
stop talking about it and then actually do them and not let the FIA take it.
That's what... I mean, look at Jean Todt. I mean, J-Dog. Look at him. He did good business. I'm in here. All of the good ideas I have, it's in the Formula One. They're going to pay me $1 gazillion. And we're out here just giving out stuff for free.
And it all started with a constellation in the sky.
Yep. And also, just to add a bit more to it, vmax.nl, which is Max Verstappen's home country, is available.
That doesn't. Wait, we need to take that.
We should buy that
yeah.
domain.
No, I'm going to buy that. It's like $500 to buy a domain, isn't it?
Also,
we'll find out.
Speaking of Max, you do only have, I think, 2 races left for
Yeah.
your whole thing that you wanted to do.
All right.
So I'm just,
You have been warned.
and there is a shop in Santon City. So
No. Don't worry about it. Red Bull, huh?
yeah.
I'll see. I'm wearing Red Bull colors today, actually. This is
Well,
like a little red bully. All right, James, good stuff. Listen, Spike, that was awesome. That was really, really awesome. And just every race should be a night race. How awesome did that look?
I think we'd probably get a little bit tired of it.
Yeah, because then we'd always be seeing Marcus Aurelius in the sky.
Yeah, we'd be saying, come on, man. Well, let's just do it during the day when it's nice and hot. And
Human beings always find a reason to complain.
people are never happy.
Spike, I have nothing to complain about with you. You're awesome.
Thank you.
are truly awesome.
We will see you the other side of Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely. Spike Ballantyne, great guy. James, great guy. Welcome in the back, great guy. And it is a great Monday. To you at home, from the bottom of my heart, is I love doing this as a job, and to get people invested and the messages, please keep them coming. I'm terrible at responding to the DMs, but there are people, more and more people sending me messages about the mental health stuff, and it's something that it's becoming more and more prevalent in my life, so it's becoming important to me. I'm quite an individualist, but it's becoming more and more clear to me that people are struggling out there, and the amount of people that have sent me messages to say the show, if it's just for 2 hours, makes them laugh, and it makes 2 hours better. So please keep sending those messages, and please keep sending all of those suggestions and everything, because it is important to me, and my name is on the show. I take full responsibility for everything that happens here. So I'm ecstatic for those messages, and I had some really cool ones on the weekend. So for those who take the time to tune in, thank you very much. But for those that, if only it's for 2 hours, I mean, I know we don't solve the world's problems. There's real problems out there. But if these 2 hours make your day better, that is an awesome thing. That's why we do this. So from myself, the boys, and everybody at the MKT Show, for now, we are the hell out of here.